There we go. I don't know why it does that. For whatever reason, it doesn't have my Yeti as the default. I should probably change that. Man, this rebuild is killing me. I swear, it is driving me up the wall. I did a full rebuild of my computer, and it's just not good. Start again. Well, I said hi, Mathuin, and welcome to everybody. And hope that you had a good weekend, and hope that it was fun times for everybody. I myself had an interesting weekend. Hang on one second. My space is a little crowded here. All right.
Time to hit the beer.
Okay, let's go ahead and start doing some stuff.
These trucks are trouble. A lot of people need that food. Better try to help.
I'm just gonna squat until I reach the truck. Ugh. Okay.
That truck is going nowhere fast if I don't get it out of that snowbank.
Oh man.
Alright.
I'm delivering holiday meals, but the truck's snowed in. Families are counting on this food. Can you help?
No, it's not board
See
games.
if I can pull you out that snow.
It really truly is not.
As the other Spidey would say, it's no problem.
You are awesome. It's free.
Physics is the real hero.
Darn right. Go physics. Except when physics sucks.
Crap, battery thing.
Think I can help with that too? Let me give you a little jump. And don't worry about the electricity. Alright, dude, try to start it.
You're a life thing. Gotta punch it. People are waiting on these meals.
Those meals will make a lot of people in need happy tonight.
Yay!
He left his delivery list. He's gonna need these addresses.
Dang it, are you serious? This guy is horrible at his job.
Gotta grab that list and get it to the driver before he gets too far.
25 pounds of basmati rice? Good lord. Smoked turkey?
Need to grab that list of deliveries. and
Whole
get it to the
chicken?
driver.
Dang. Sounds delicious.
Okay, dude needs this list. Time to go. Moving fast.
So yeah, no, it's not board games, it's just a bunch of other stuff. But incidentally, my, like I was saying, my computer rebuild is just, it's been really driving me up the wall lately. I've been trying to get it back to a place that's like somewhat normal in terms of what I had previously. But it's just like it is not working. Like I can't get a lot of my my stuff to work that dang it, a lot of the stuff that I had for my stream and things like that to work right. I can't get
Hey, you got your address
can't-
list. Think you're gonna need this.
so like my cruise control thing for the glutes thing that lets me know that it was redeemed and stuff like that.
Monster trucks to make their deliveries.
It's just frustrating as all crap. And on top of that, like I still don't know
Hit the new form in the gym theater.
why all of the stuff isn't showing up. So like I've got the thing with what's it called? With the latest subscriber and all of that kind of stuff. And it just
Spidey taught me to
it's
grip
not
this.
working.
Stop.
the problem is that there's zero reason for it to not work. Because it's just there. It's just stuff that's connected through, what's it called, Streamlabs. And they're just things for that, and none of them are working for some reason. Just doesn't make sense, but what am I gonna do? I'm just saying, all of these guys are dead.
Let that be your lesson. Just don't do it again. Cool? Hey, you.
Just saying, they can't learn a lesson because they're severely brain damaged, at best.
Hey friends, some news. East North, satellite branch in Harlem, is shutting down. Details on why are spotty, but I've heard that a flood made the building unlivable.
Stuff that the board game's displaced. No, it's not stuff that board games displaced. It has nothing to do with board games. Okay? In this particular case, it's actually my amp, because I was messing around with my guitar yesterday. Yeah, because today's Monday, right? I don't know. I'm losing track of time. But I was playing with my guitar while I was waiting for my memory diagnostic to go through. So, yay, fun times. Love me some memory diagnostics. It's always fun. Incidentally, my memory's okay, but I was essentially trying to figure out what the what's causing my issue with my computer constantly restarting. And incidentally, it's not the incidentally, it is not the memory, so that's good. But that means it's probably the PSU. And I can't get a PSU. So yeah.
Like a little present from the underground. Just for me.
Video evidence. I have not bought more games. Don't lie. Stop with the lying. What is this slanderous filth that is being spilled all about my channel? This is slanderous. This is unfounded, slanderous filth claiming incorrectly that I am purchasing games. This is absolutely untrue. Okay, no, see, that's different. The ones that are coming in are different. Those I already told everybody about in my video, because I talked about how I have Kickstarter stuff coming. So that is totally different.
Oh, okay. I guess we're doing this now. Put down your weapon.
Did you tell me to put down my weapons?
Wax on zero. Spider-Man.
I'm confused. But that's the thing, is that I fully admitted to all of the Kickstarters that I have backed and are on the way. I'm just saying, I own up to it. I am fully aware that I can't buy any more stuff. Thus, I am not buying more stuff. This is a fact. These are true facts of life.
The underground center.
Na 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 na, the facts of life. Na 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 na, facts of life. Na 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 na, facts of life. Na 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 na, the facts of life. Na 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 na. New Game Plus. The fuck. See, I'm starting to have the same problem in this game that I was having in God of War, where I basically forget everything that I'm able to do and everything that I have available to me. And it's not good.
Without anyone noticing? I'm impressed.
Either way. Oh! More glutes.
App says rat escapees took hostages and blocked off a street.
Alchemist Simulator? Doesn't ring a bell. You have to tell me about it.
Get away from that car! Ah, crap! Knew this was too high profile. No one's gonna lock me up again! Relax, I got it! Got him! Firing! Gonna crack your skull! We lost him! Every man for himself!
Any others left? Oh. This dude just dumb.
Maybe take some classes when you're back in the rat.
Okay, now that's ringing a bell. I think I had seen that before. And I also remember telling myself I am not going to back it. Even though it is 100% up my alley and the exact type of game that I would love to have,
This episode is part of my series.
I was like, no, Danny,
Spider-Man recently.
you should not get the game. You should not do the thing. And so you know what? I didn't do the thing.
Hey, Danica. I'm at the underground hideout on the Upper East Side.
Cool. You look for the jammer, I'll start pulling records for what the underground's been up to here.
Just putting it out there to the world. As an FYI. Oh, that's right! It was a video game, not a board game.
Hey, you see Matt around? Come on. You serious? He ran against the group, trying to make extra money running drugs. I told him
Bzzzt. Venom Smash!
around in Tombstone recruited a few jobs. Robberies, carjackings. Falling out when a member killed one of his guys. The underground were outgunned.
Until the Tinkerer came along.
Yeah. Right then Tombstone was in prison, so they were able to sweep in here, no problem.
Wait, what? How is that dude tied up? I don't remember tying a dude up. I know, I Venom punched somebody off the top of a building. This is what I'm saying. Like, all of this stuff with, like, the Batman Arkham games and the Spider-Man games and all this. It's like, oh yeah, you know, yeah, I have one rule, I don't kill anybody. It's like, yeah, right. No, you kill, like, everybody. And that is at best. Okay, well, me not at best, but I don't remember how to Venom Smash. Does anybody remember how to Venom Smash? I guess I could look it up, but that would involve me, like, pausing the game and stuff.
We'll kill you!
Let me look at my skills. Oh, I gotta press both of them at the same time?
Spider-Man, everything you've got!
Look at me. I'm a fancy dude. I got a fancy rifle.
So, this may be off topic, but do you have like a sound guy to write your intro music?
I dated a guy for like half a minute.
Alright.
He was nice enough to write my stinger before we broke up.
Oh, if you ever need someone who can make beats, I know a guy.
That would be amazing, because I am totally tone deaf.
Need a guy who can mix beats. I love it. Oh, man. Incidentally, this game is freaking awesome, and all of you should play it. I know that's just a very random thing to say, but I don't care.
I'll check.
It's true. Oof. That probably broke various things.
He's here! Don't let your guard down!
We're not here. How is he beating us?
This is gonna hurt, Spider-Man!
Oh god, the freaking swords. That's what it is. Hate those freaking swords. No, seriously, I legit hate those stupid swords. I mean, they're awesome, don't get me wrong, but also I hate them. Ugandan? How can I do that without sounding super racist? Ugandan accent. All I can think is Captain Phillips, but that was technically Syrian. Because they were... Or no, Somalian. Because they were Somali pirates, I think. I'm trying to think of how to. I mean, the problem is that I don't know the subtleties between different African accents, and so I couldn't say exactly what I'm doing. And again, the problem is that I've only heard so much, and what I've heard very well could be completely terrible and wrong. So we're going to try, but either way, there's 2 minutes on the timer. So let me try it. So I feel like you have to talk a little late. No, that's too Russian. Need. I know it needs a touch of British essentially. So we need to say like, we do this, we do that, we are here, we are fighting for our lives, we are doing this for ourselves, for our families, for our children. That sounded like a weird Austrian. It's as close as it's gonna get. So, timer's going, we'll try it. We will try it. I can't go too much, and I can't do it too hard. No, that's again the Austrian. We need to go more British, but also Wakandan. And so you have to think like forever and things like that. And it's a very difficult rope to walk when you are thinking of it. And one can't help but think of coming to America and how horribly, horribly racist that was. It's very shameful. Incidentally, has anybody seen the new movie? Wait, now it sounds more Indian.
I got this one.
Oh my god. Still very racist. You know what? I'm trying, okay? I'm doing my best. I'm not very good. Ouch! Okay. We have to get back into it. And so we have to say, the problem is that everything was colonized by the British, so everything kind of got mixed in with that. And it ended up getting heavier and heavier. Once the British, I mean, did they ever really leave? Because I feel like they never really left. Do the British ever really leave anywhere? The answer is sadly no. But we try our best. And I try my best. And this is why if I ever become a voice actor, I can't go after something that I can't do. Oh, thank God that's over. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. It's just... I know, I'm terrible. I really tried, though.
How's it look? Enrique? Somebody should check on him.
Yeah, somebody check on Enrique. Great idea. Oh, that's right, the freaking sword. So bad.
Cool. Now we just need to find the jammer and shut it down.
Ukrainian. Incidentally, Ukrainian is not very easy for me either. But I can try it. See, the problem with anything related to effectively the Cyrillic alphabet
Shouldn't be too heavy.
is that they're
And it wasn't.
similar but not. Oh, hey, it's the matter. Hi. All right, so 2 minutes on the timer for Ukrainian accent. Oh, God, why did it move to 10 minutes? No, I'm not doing that. Ukrainian is very close to Russian. It
Here's
is.
the jammer.
And in my case, I think of my grandfather, and
Trophies from their
this is
private
sounding more
tombstone.
German.
How
We need to
sentimental.
say things like Rodka and things like that. The problem is that my grandfather, the first language he spoke was Deutsch, also known as German, and so it makes it an odd sort of mix of accents.
Did those mannequins move?
Oh, Jesus Christ, I thought this was a Doctor Who episode for a second there. That scared the bloody hell out of me. I don't know why I'm mixing British idioms with the attempted Russian/Ukrainian accent. And now I'm mixing in a British accent, and it's all just over the place, and nobody knows anything that's going on. It's just horrible. But getting back to the more Russian accent that we can have here. This whole thing is just one giant mess after another. But again, the problem is that there are so many accents that are so similar. It's very difficult to detect how they are different when you're talking about them or talking as them. Especially when you're not familiar with them. As for me personally, I am as such. And thus, I do not do so well. But I try the best I can. For example, I do not know any Russian curses. One of those will come in handy right about now. But time is up. Calypso in the accent? Wait, I don't know Calypso. I don't know that song. Oh my god! Ah! 9.5 is rating! Help! Ah! It's the Cuckoos! You know, the irony of the Cuckoo thing is the fact that whenever I do all of my stuff with the Link to the Past randomizer, the Cuckoo Storm does not work. But now 9.5 has made it happen. Thank you so much and welcome everybody. We're playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, and apparently I'm supposed to sing the song called Calypso in a Ukrainian accent,
I'm gonna chase the tombstone.
but I don't know the words to Calypso, and so this is probably going to be very ugly and most likely relatively sort of kind of offensive. You're taking Maithelin back? No! Leave her here! The Banana Man song? You'll have to be more specific about this Banana Man. There are many songs about the Banana Man. For example, bananas in pajamas are coming down the stairs. Bananas in pajamas are chasing teddy bears. This is what they are doing. And incidentally, to all of you raiders who are here, I know that I won! Ha! I won the chicken! Yes! Go me!
Keep working on that one.
I won the chicken! I won the chicken! Go me! But yeah, I'm loving this game, incidentally. So, for those who aren't aware, this is Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PS4.
Benefits of bioelectricity, I guess. Power can be supplied all locally.
So, the original Spider-Man game was met with huge, awesome rave reviews of awesomeness.
These cables lead the way.
And so they made one with Miles Morales, which is, he's a...
Who do that?
Oh my god, my wife will kill me if I say it, so I won't. He is a Latino,
That's your plan? It's a terrible plan.
not exactly variant of Spider-Man, but perfect for Hispanic History Month, incidentally. And so his mother is Latina and his father is African American. So, yeah. He has a very interesting backstory and a lot of fun stuff. But huzzah! Well, thanks so much for the sub, 9.5. I do have sub goals to reach. Yeah, I'm trying to get my sub points so that I can get my new, what's it called? My new emote. Banana Man was a children's TV cartoon in the UK in the late 80s. Wow, that is certainly a thing. It helps me in no way whatsoever because I have been to the UK one time and it was not during the 1980s. Much less having watched a show called Banana Man. But yeah. Yes, Tiny Scribbles LLC making all the emotes of awesomeness. Everybody should do it. But either way, so Miles Morales, super cool character, tons of fun. If any of you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch the Spider-Man Into the Multiverse show on, I believe it's Netflix, if memory serves. You'll learn a lot about him and his family and all of that kind of thing and how he got where he is and all that good stuff. And yeah, the thing is that this is the new thing. For those of you who are gamers, you may have heard that Insomniac Games, the same people who made this, they are not only making a Spider-Man 2, just a straight-up sequel to the original, but they are also going to be making a Wolverine game as well. And I'm curious to see how that goes. I honestly am not sure. I hope it does well, but the problem is that it's going to have to be pretty different from Spider-Man, because Wolverine does not play well with this style of gameplay. Especially if they want to make it in the context of, like, you know, you have all of this craziness going on with, you know, mayhem and murder, and essentially making it into Logan the video game. Old Man Logan. So, like Logan the movie. Which, incidentally, is a very cool character. Incidentally, these dudes with the swords are really annoying. So one of the things about Miles Morales Spider-Man is that he can go invisible temporarily. He has an active camouflage capability. Because, you know, spiders obviously are able to do that. But fun times. Bits! Yay, Bits! Woo! Thank you. Check my sub points and report back. Okay, I will check my sub points. I currently have 11 sub points. Because of 9. Woo! Thank you, 9. You are the awesome. Huzzah. Oh yeah, most people call me Danny because that's just, yeah, that's who I is on the thing. Oh, look at that, Rev giving away subs. See, Rev is a unique sub giver in that he always wants to take the full credit for it, so that's how he rolls. So thank you so much for doing that, Rev. I really appreciate it. And again, thanks so much for the awesome, crazy kukuri. Fun times. Woo! Prime sub command. So like for the, you mean like the, I assume you mean the Amazon Prime. Not sure exactly what that does differently, but you are correct in that I do not have one. Nor do I know exactly what it means. Ow! Bugger! Ow! Double bugger. Run away! Woo! I died. Let's see if this works. It does! My death work. It didn't actually do the count, though. Dang it. So, my shtick for all these games is that I really suck at games. I have played video games all my life, and yet I still can't play video games. So, that's kind of my brand. I'm just saying. It's how I roll. I'm pretty cool like that. But incidentally, that's why I have the official death counts. So I have my death count commands, but I do not have a prime subcommand, which I'm only just now learning about. Thanks a lot, 9.5. Not telling me about it earlier. No! Yeah, the thing is that doing the subscription with Prime is a difficult thing to do because it is kind of buried and it's really annoying. So yeah, it's not fun. How am I going to do this? Let's see here what we got. Oh shoot, I didn't have full stuff. Oh god, bad idea. Bad idea. Terrible idea. Worst idea ever. Run away. Ha! Flip away. Flippity dippity. Hua! Huzzah! Huzzah! Yeah! What? Hua! Yeah, what you gonna do? Oh, dang, you're gonna kill me. Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Ooh, dinner started. Okay, have fun. Take care. You pick, but I want full-on singing? Wait, what? Yeah, see, I have Lurk. I'm just saying. See, I do stuff. I try things. I try to make things work. Sebastian Stan, no. We have not heard that name in a good long while. Now, wait. Was Sebastian Stan the... was that Bacon in First Class? Or am I thinking of a different person? I know I say Bacon. I assume everybody knows I mean Kevin Bacon. There's not literally a whole bunch of Bacon sitting out there acting in X-Men movies, although some people would make an argument that there absolutely is just, you know, uncooked bacon playing some of those characters. But regardless, that's what I mean.
Hey! Come out and face us, you imposter!
Well, of course I have to rep my own channel.
Jenny, what's going on?
Is that...
Something's wrong.
That's Winter Soldier? No, I thought that was Bucky Barnes. Okay, Sebastian Shaw. See, I was close. I was close, you have to admit. But no, I thought that was Bucky. Or did he just get a new name from the Russians? Or was it the Nazis? I don't remember. It was Russians. He had the giant red star. Oh, Sebastian Stan's the actor. Okay. See, y'all sitting here trying to confuse me with the facts. Alright? I don't appreciate that. Not cool. You can't come in here and confuse me with all of the facts. I do not appreciate this. Incidentally, I will also admit that I have not yet seen Falcon and Winter Soldier. So, I apologize for my lack of proper nerddom.
not gonna lose to you, Spider-Man!
I have seen WandaVision and I have seen Loki, but I've yet to I've yet to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. Who's this? Other people? Oh dang! Oh, we're using our made-up names. Peter Parker is subscribed while I'm playing Spooderman. I love it. Oh no! I look like. Are you saying I look like Bucky because I have nice broad shoulders and I look good? Because I hate the way my body looks. Incidentally, that's why I have a reward called Glutes of Zeus. It makes me do squats. I also have a bunch of stuff that's currently inactive for goblet squats and burpees and all sorts of stuff. It's still off because I broke my toe a while ago. But yay for subs! Woo! Thank you all so much for the subs. I really, really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And the follows. I mean, whether it's sub, follow, both, you guys are all awesome. All of you raiders, absolutely amazing. And I know that most of you are just here because you're jealous that I won the chicken. And that's okay. I'm fine with that.
No more underground.
Right, yeah, so this is my quarantine cut right here. Yeah, this is full on my quarantine look. Yeah, I have literally not gotten my hair cut since March of last year. So, yeah. I do work out, this is true. And I always tell people, if you look at me from, like, basically the pecs up, I look okay. So, yeah. Oh, thank you all so much for this. This is awesome. And people gifting subs too. God, you guys are all amazing. Thank you so, so much. This is incredible. This is absolutely amazing. I feel like Mathewin from, what was it, like 2 days ago? When you had that massive hype train and it was absolutely ridiculous. So crazy. I did win the Chonkin. I did. That was me. I needed not be present to win. At the time I was in a work meeting, so I was not able to directly claim it. But I got the announcement that I had won. So, or I heard that I had won. So I was very excited. So go me. It's very exciting stuff.
Try that again.
Lunar Wolf _ cheers X100.
Woo! Hype train! Yay! Woo woo! Fun times. Incidentally, I guess with my hair like this, I do kind of resemble Sebastian Stan. Does anybody know what his nationality is? I'm curious. I don't know offhand, but either way. So crazy! Oh my god. I got chosen, so you're leaving. I can understand that. Yeah. I would despise me as well for winning the Chonker Chicken. If it makes you feel any better, it's for my stepdaughter. So, you know, I'm just saying. It's not my personal Chonker Chicken. He's Romanian. Okay, so I am half Ukrainian. My mom is a full-blooded Ukrainian. So, very Eastern European genes up in this general vicinity. So it makes sense. But, yeah. Incidentally, I wish that I could do all those really cool knife tricks. But I also will never try. Because that would be a really, really stupid idea on my part. Oh, hello. How you doing, bad guy? So one thing I really love about this game that you don't see in a lot of open world games is how fluid the combat is. It's not super common for anybody curious. It's pretty awesome. Oh, jeez. That said, that was awesome. Yay for Hype Train. Woo! And we're at 23 sub points. Yes! You guys are amazing. Thank you all so much. This is absolutely incredible. Y'all being crazy with your rating. I love it. I'm excited to get my Chonker Chicken. I will be happy to share images of the Chonker Chicken if you all so desire.
That was the way to the main auditorium. Now it's blocked.
Maybe there's a staircase or an elevator.
Tiny says I have to stay longer. I might stay longer, but I have food waiting for me. So I can't stay too long, unfortunately.
Hey man, I'm thinking. What if you told Finn you're Spider-Man?
Yo, Finn. Not only did I lie about joining your club, but I'm also the guy trying to stop you.
Okay, yeah. We can work on the delivery.
Giant armored silo looks promising.
Yes, it does. Clearly nothing bad is happening here. I can't have my ramen in here. It's in a giant, like, saucepan.
Finn's going full supervillain layer.
Oh, I gotta add a Georgian accent. Wait, okay. Is that the country Georgia or the state Georgia?
I got a hunch, yeah.
Because
Peter's got cables running away
okay,
from
the
it.
state. I'm just saying I don't want to be that guy who makes the assumption. All right. So here we'll put a timer on the clock as I get into my southern accent here. When you're talking like you're from Savannah, you gotta talk with a little bit of an underbite, see? And you have to ask for mint julep. And as Andy Bernard would say in The Office, you have to speak like with a little bit of molasses, a little bit slower, just so that you can seem like you're a little bit more, how do you say, sophisticated. It seems like a good time. I have indeed probably offended enough of Eastern Europe for one stream. Incidentally, it's very easy for me to offend, and I do sincerely apologize, but that said, I do try to get my accents pretty good. Incidentally, for anybody who is curious as to why this is a reward that I have on my channel, it's because I run a D&D game. And within that D&D game, I appreciate having different accents for my NPCs. And as such, I like having them speak in slightly different ways at least. I don't want to have all of my NPCs all sounding exactly the same. It just seems like a terrible thing to do. And so I try to practice my accents as best as I can within the context of I don't know when or what exactly I'm going to need. And I just kind of have to feel it in the moment during a game. But at the same time, I also need to just sort of feel it out from here. It's very nice. Monotone. I mean, the monotone kind of helps me with keeping the accent. Now, if I was to go full-on Southern, then that's a little bit different, see? Because then I can go a little bit more up and down, you know what I'm saying? And that's a little bit more like maybe Kentucky or Alabama, even. And that makes it a little easier. But if I want to go Georgia, then the first thing I think of is Savannah. And you gotta think of somebody who has a little bit of prestige and wants to think about themselves as, I am significantly better than you ever will be, or ever could be. And therefore, there's nothing that you can do to stop me. You know, stuff like that. It's fun times. But yes, thank you so much for following. I really appreciate it. Oh, Hammy. Okay, so hang on. Let me restart my timer. Alright. Incidentally, Italian is hard because I can only play with one hand. Because you have to speak with the hand. I kid. I apologize. That was a joke. It was a terrible joke. But it's also very stereotypical. Alright. So we've got 2 minutes on the clock. Now, well, with the Italian, you have to make sure that you don't go too much into it, because then you get into the stereotypes and you get into like, this is what the Mario would sound like if he was in a really bad movie back in the 80s and he was played by a wrestler. And so it's a mighty shame. But that said, you can't have the very heavy Italian accent. And that's the thing. I remember very distinctly. There was one of the episodes of how you say the Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay. There was a man who was from Naples, Italy. And he had lived in the United States for 20 years. And he very, very deliberately did not get rid of his accent. And I find that to be very odd. But he said it was because the ladies appreciate. So, okay, I suppose. I personally do not think it's the best of ideas, but whatever. What are you going to do? Matter, you are a terrible, terrible person.
Find the generators.
I cannot do this. I just cannot do this. This is absolutely terrible. It's horrible. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to charge the generators. This is terrible. Ugh. It's so terrible. And yet I do have to say that I love Squirrel Girl. Oh, it is a shame. It is such a shame. Okay, I did the thing that you said I was supposed to do, you stupid game. What more do you want from me? Oh, okay, I see. There's a fuse box here. Now, can we link this to the generator? No, we cannot, because that would be way too easy. Web up the gear. What gear? There is no gear. Why are we talking about this? Ah, there is the gear. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. And I still have my Italian accent. Well, sort of.
Those gears look webbable.
Your gears are webbable. I shall web your face.
Nice. Clear line of sight to the generator.
Okay, let's see. Oh, something cool on my desk. I got all sorts of cool stuff on my desk. Ooh, if any of you are gamers, something that you'll be very jealous of that my wife got me are these guys. So I got the Legend of Zelda Joy-Cons for my Nintendo Switch. My wife was really, really fast on the treasure truck when it was announced. Incidentally, I had a chance to get a, the, oh, what's it called? The, oh my god. I can't even think. I had a chance to get the, you know, the thing, the PS5. But I didn't. I just simply chose not to. Oh, there we go.
Alright, that's 2. Hope this is a good idea. What's the worst that could happen?
It's just
Says the guy 30 blocks away.
way more complicated than it should be.
Looks like Finn's making a new mask? Shield? As soon as I find a way around the underground's weapons.
Yeah,
I'll
the... Get the tuna scoop. Yeah, it's, it was an interesting thing, and I remember very distinctly because I was
Might be able to use that relay node to run a daisy chain.
Yes, let's run a daisy chain.
3 down. 1 to go.
Okay, where is the last one? The last one is up there. But either way, yeah. I was very, very close. Oh, dang it. Ban a word? Really? You're gonna do that? I hate you. See, I'm allowed to say it because the thing hasn't started. Okay, favorite burrito recipe. My favorite burrito recipe, first off, 5 minutes on the clock for the banned word. My favorite burrito recipe is by far Al Pastor. Danny is an enormous fan of some Al Pastor, if it is well made. The thing is, the secret for Al Pastor is you do have to have pineapple in it. It sounds weird, yes. It is just about the goofiest thing, but that's how it's properly made. And it is delicious. FYI. Just saying, it is amazing. And my favorite personal burrito. Whenever I find a new burrito place, that's what I always... Ah, son of a mother! I said it. I gotta restart. I didn't even make it a minute. Wait. Okay, come on. Now that's out of context, FYI. Because everybody knows that means for your information. Acronyms. Since when do acronyms count? Okay, restarting the timer. Timer has been restarted. So, incidentally, whenever there's a new restaurant of a specific type that is of a cuisine enjoyed by myself, there will typically be a particular dish that I get. God, mother! Flipping son of a mother. Not even 30 seconds. It's restarted. This particular dish serves well as a gauge as to how good the restaurant is. Sort of like, if you can't do this well, why would anybody bother with anything else? So terrible. Incidentally, for myself, that is a pastor burrito in typically Mexican places.
Just to put it out there, what if Finn's right, and this is the best way to beat Roxxon?
Finn's not just talking about throwing a rock through a window. She wants to blow up
for
on my block. If any part of her
other places, there are different dishes utilized by myself. For example, Chinese, even though it is horribly Americanized, the sesame chicken is a go-to because, again, Americanized Chinese food, if they cannot do sesame chicken well, then there's probably nothing being done well. In my personal opinion. And one imagines that most people have something similar to this idea for restaurants of test dishes of sorts. But those are a couple of mine personally. DMing. Do you mean for D&D and other tabletop RPGs? Yes, there is a game that happens on Sunday evenings which is my responsibility. Sadly, not playing any games personally, but DMing is fun.
We're stronger than Spider-Man. Let's prove it.
And 5th edition is certainly my favorite D&D edition. That guy is dead.
I got a shot. Where'd he go?
So, my favorite D&D edition, but not my favorite tabletop RPG system. The players are all very unique, which I absolutely love. Ah, son of a Bisquick! I hate you all! Oh, God. I was so close, too. I was so close. Yeah. Restart the stupid timer.
You're out of your league, Spider-Man.
Dang it, Matter.
We'll find you.
Danny hates you.
Spider-Man.
This means that Danny will have to speak in the third person. And in order to speak in the third person, it means that he has no choice but to speak in a very posh accent. And therefore, all of said banned words will be on a single timer while he is discussing all of this amazing stuff that he does and how ridiculous all of the players are. Oh, indeed. If one were to go to Danny's YouTube channel, one would see a recent video wherein it was spoken that there are so many bad words.
I'll fight you, and I'll win.
Danny dislikes the people in this chat right now.
You can't win this.
We're stronger than you.
Danny needs a mechanism to keep track of all banned words. Ow! Okay, hang on. Let's see. We'll try again. So, okay, my timer is stopped. So, this, you. This, you, and Danny. Me.
Quit hiding his face on.
I'm just gonna have to stream in silence for 5 minutes, you guys. This is terrible.
Can't hide forever, Spider-Man.
The person playing this game is now upset with the people
We know you're here.
in the chat.
We're not scared of you, Spider-Man. Eyes up!
Correct. That emote is needed.
This is too important to let you screw it all up.
It is...
And swinging, Spidey. Just a matter of time.
It need be added by the person streaming presently. Yes.
Been looking forward to killing you, Spidey.
Problem being, No open emote slot.
What was that?
Must determine what to do.
Hey, Lord, where you at? Somebody go check on her. I got it. Headed over. This will make sense.
Oh, now the streamer has to speak with an Irish accent. Is that it? Well, bugger all. What a fine mess everyone has made. The streamer is still quite trying to talk. But everyone here makes it quite a challenge.
What is happening?
Not unlike these blasted bad guys.
Not gonna lose to you, Spider-Man.
Absolutely the worst.
Lay this guy out before he gets the new book.
Experience in D&D. Well, by this point, over 10 years.
Even Spider-Man's not ready for this.
Well, bugger. Not a good sign.
Venom tears it apart. Good. You keep doing that.
You all are the dumb. That was one of the banned words, wasn't it? Very difficult to keep track. Most definitely. Timer has been restarted. Though accent is done.
You never should have put on that mask.
Okay. Now for the new form. Okay. See?
Channel point costs must be increased.
Can't let you take that.
Very clearly.
Hey! Hey!
Favorite video game?
Seriously?
Or TTRPG?
I just want to talk. Sit. Tinkerer. Stop.
So you can steal my new form? Not a chance in hell!
Hey, Genki. Ran into Finn. What's happening? She grabbed the new form. I'm chasing her across Manhattan. Oh, crap. Okay. How are you gonna stop her? Step 1, catch her. Step 2, I'll get back to you. Oh, move.
Back off! This is between me and Roxxon!
Spider-Man does not have a decent plan. Very cool sequence though.
How about we use our words? How about you stop being so flighty?
Ha!
Or is she not tired yet?
Wait,
Explosions.
infinite
I need a new
points?
strategy.
Where did this
Gonna
come
do what
from?
you said.
Oh, mother! Dang it!
As soon as I catch her. Tinkerer, I gotta tell you something. Slow down.
Do you think I'm stupid?
You'll want to hear this. I promise.
Step off, Spider-Man!
That was way more than 10.
Oh crap! Not good, not good. Hope the ship's okay.
Okay. So,
Said, step off!
favorite game
Whoa!
was
Why
this
did you
video
make
game?
Death Wish?
Oh, God dang, you said this. This is terrible. Timer restarted. Ow! Oh, jeez.
Give me one good reason not to end you.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
My mom would be very upset.
God dang it.
Miles?
Can we just...
You two on the roof! Freeze!
Still wondering about favorite game type. What's meant?
That could have gone better. I think she cracked a rib. Or 3. Hey,
That's it?
how'd it go with Finn? Not great. You still at my place?
I'm actually at home. My parents get back next week, so I thought it'd be... But I can come back.
Nah, it's okay. I'll call you later. Now what? Hey, Uncle Aaron. I need some advice.
About what exactly?
Just everything. Are you free?
I can wrap up what I'm doing.
So, Uncle Aaron
Thanks, man.
is
Talk to you soon.
an important character
I had no idea where Finn is.
in his own
Or
right.
the new form. I guess I should kill some time till Uncle Aaron's
Don't
free.
want to spoil. Just so people know.
Stop me if you've heard this before. Spider-Man chases villain through city. Millions of dollars of property.
Dance.
We're still tallying up the damage.
The dance is hell.
Then the bridge disaster. And now it seems
We
that
must
Junior
express
decided
ourselves.
to go with a hack trick with his new frenemy, the Tinkerer. I say those two should get a room, preferably a prison, and hash out their differences in private, somewhere very, very far from New York. And I don't just mean Jersey. I'm talking Oregon or even Alaska.
The wall reminds of Disco Elysium. Just found the wall that can be painted. Very excited. So, favorite video game? Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. Super Nintendo. Still favorite to today. Have played on stream. No time for crime.
How you doing? Meet me at the docks at Hell's Kitchen.
I'll be there. What am I gonna do about Finn? Talking to her again? I could meet her somewhere. Science Center or Holy Church. No. She knows I lied to her now.
Please to join Discord if desired.
Still mad at me for crashing your Seeker Fist power base?
Why are people blocked from whispering? I did it! It's a miracle! Oh, good lord. That was horrifying. Incidentally, let me...
Turns out cranes and ice don't mix. Who knew?
I'll do one quick activity and then I gotta get going.
Wow, that is a lot of ice.
I do not have my I win button, no. So, to make a long story short for all the new folks, this past week I had to rebuild my computer because they said it would make my VR treadmill work, which was a lie.
How can I help?
Incidentally, it still doesn't work. And all of the stuff from my Stream Deck reset. So I had all of my little stuff. Like, here, we can do it this way.
You gotta get the ice off before that happens. I'm on it.
But I had a I had a thing that made that work much better. So yeah, and I could push a button and it popped up.
Nice to meet you. This is why Pete gave me a C in quipping.
What? Why is it that webbing can break ice? How does that make any sense?
This is oddly satisfying.
What is this ice made out of?
Usually I'm terrible at breaking the ice, but ooh, that was bad.
Yes, basically the front fell off. But incidentally, yeah. So back to my favorite game, Super Mario.
Cheers, X100. Yay for raid and fun stream.
Indeed.
Ice first.
Yay for raid and fun stream. Absolutely awesome. Again, thank you all so much for coming by.
Now to find a good spot to
Absolutely awesome. Like, seriously. This is so freaking cool.
Okay.
But yeah, so Super Mario RPG I've played.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Okay.
Oops.
Didn't hurt anyone. But if I know my train schedules, gotta get that off the tracks ASAP.
I've played through multiple times, and I absolutely love the game. It's a huge amount of fun.
Stopping the crane was only the
Highly recommend it
but
if you all have not played
okay,
it.
that's enough ice guns for today.
Agreed. Alright! Cool. So, yay for that. Well, with that though, I've got to get going. I have to go and finish up the stuff.
Hey, Dana fans! You're tuning into my 4-part series, Underground Exposed.
I do have a good amount of board games, yes. Yes, raid suggestions, please. Let's keep the raid train going. So favorite board game is Cosmic Encounter. And incidentally, I can show on stream with my camera here. So incidentally, there's my little VR treadmill that doesn't work. And so I have a little Cosmic Encounter shrine type of thing where I've got every version that has been released since the original in 1970. 1979, I want to say it was, from Eon Games up until most recently last year. They released an anniversary edition. And so I've got all of the US released versions as well as one UK released version. That is my favorite game of all time. But yeah. And as far as how many I've got, if you're talking strictly board games, like just standalone board games without expansions, it is right about, what was it at last count? Right about 386, I think. I would have to look. I've got a database on my computer. Well, I did. I wiped my computer. I did save the database, though. It's in my little USB drive. Because I'm such a giant data nerd that I made a database of all of my board games so that I can make an R-Shiny app to figure out what game would work best for a game night. I am that big of a giant nerd. Yes, I have heard of Tales of the Arabian Nights, and it is a very impressive game. It's actually a lot of fun. I love narrative and storytelling games, so I'm a huge fan of Time Stories, Tales of the Arabian Nights. There's Descent is pretty good, although that's more just you want to play D&D. Even though they have D&D board games already, you just want to play something that feels more like D&D than the actual D&D board games, because most of the D&D board games are based off of 4th edition. And as we all know, 4th edition was kind of... But that's beside the point. Yes, and we got to get the raid targets. So how far did I get through Time Stories? Unfortunately, my group, we only got through... Is it Mask of the Pharaoh or the Dragon one? I don't remember which one came first. I have on hand the next two. So I've got the one that is based in like old Hollywood, and then I don't remember the other one offhand. But the problem is when COVID hit and everything that we couldn't meet to play anymore. And so it kind of sucks. Because Time Stories is one of those games that makes it really, really difficult to play without the same group. But yeah, I really like it. I was a huge fan of all of them. Under the Mask was probably my least favorite of the ones that I remember. But is it Prophecy of Dragons, I think? Absolutely my favorite by far. Totally amazing. I would love to do it again, honestly. And at this point, it's gotten to the point where I don't remember most of the stuff, so I could easily redo it, which is kind of nice when it comes to like legacy games. But that said, let's do some ratings. So Mathewin mentioned a few stream folks. So let's do... Ooh, let's raid a science person. We need to raid science folk because science folks are awesome. Incidentally, I work as a scientist, if anybody's curious. That's why I'm super stoked on raiding a scientist. But that said, I have to get going. Thank you all so much again for coming. I truly appreciate it. You all are freaking awesome. Thank you so much for the hype train, for all the subs, the follows. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be back on Saturday for anybody wanting to see again. I'm going to be playing God of War, the PS4 one. So it's my first playthrough of God of War, and I don't know exactly how far in I am, as far as, like, you know, halfway, a quarter way, whatever it is. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, if you all want to join in, then you're more than welcome to. And incidentally, for those of you who are science board game nerds, this recently came in, Intrepid. So this is a game that's based off of you playing as characters on the ISS, the International Space Station, and the group who made it, like, collaborated with NASA scientists and all that stuff to make some realistic scenarios of what can happen and all that sort of thing. Freaking amazing. So absolutely awesome. Okay, but that said, let's go and we'll do some raiding. We're heading out.